I am not in love, but I'm open to persuasion. East or west, where's the best for romancing? With a friend I can smile, but with a lover I could hold my head back. Really laugh. Thank you. You took me dancing across the floor, cheek to cheek, but with a lover I could really move, really move. I could really dance, really dance, really dance, really dance. I could really move, really move, really move. Now if I can feel the sun in my eyes and the rain on my face, why can't I feel love? Really love, really love, really love, really love, really love. Love, 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 love. Now I got all the friends that I love. I may need my home, but I should just stick to those that I have got. With friends I still feel so insecure. Little darling, I believe you can help me a lot. Just take my hand and leave me where you will. No conversation, no wait, good night.
We'll give you love.
Just make love with affection. Sing me another love song, but this time with a little dedication. Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. You know that's what I like. Love, ooh. Once more with the feeling. Give me love, give me love, give me love. Love, love. Make love with affection. Sing me another love song, but this time with a little dedication. Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. You know that's what I like. Love, once more with a feeling. Sing me another love song, but this time with a little dedication. Sing it, sing it, sing it, sing it. You know that's what I like. Love, with affection, ooh, with a little dedication. Love, once more with a feeling. Ooh, you know.
Gonna find my baby, gonna hold her tight, gonna grab some afternoon delight. My motto's always been, when it's right, why wait until the middle of a cold dark night, when everything's a little clearer in the light of day, and we know the night is always gonna be here anyway.
Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together make the sparks ignite. And the thought of loving you is getting so excited.
Sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight. didn't fight, but you got some beta waiting, and I think I might like Neverland, a little afternoon delight. Sky rockets in flight, afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Be waiting for me, baby, when I come around. We can make a lot of loving before the sun gone down. Thinking of you's working up my appetite. Looking forward to a little afternoon delight. Rubbing sticks and stones together make the sparks ignite. And the thought of rubbing you is getting so exciting. Sky rockets in flight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Afternoon delight. Change your heart. Look around you. Change your heart. It will astound you. I need your loving like the sunshine. And everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime. Everybody's gotta learn sometime.
Yeah, just going to have a break now and have some lunch. But yeah, fantastic morning. And you know, it's difficult. I think I've said before, there's times when you want to video every vat, but there's just too many. And equally, I tend to focus more on the Go Sankey. There's some other great varieties here. I can't capture them all. So by the time I get home, I want to look back and think I've caught most of the fish I'm most interested in, which are the Go Sankey. But yeah, some amazing fish.
isn't amazing or debonair. All I want is love and affection from whatever direction. I don't care. I don't mind if she can dance. I'll teach her to dance in every way. And if by chance she's new to romance, I'll teach her to make love night and day. 'Cause I'm girl crazy. I'm girl crazy. I'm girl crazy. For a girl crazy. I'm girl crazy. Crazy for a girl who's boy crazy. For a boy like me.
to win. I can recall a time when I wasn't ashamed to reach out to a friend. And now I think I've got a lot more than a skipping rope to lend. Now there's more to do than watch my sailboat glide, and every day can be my magic carpet ride, and I can play hide and seek with my fears and live my days instead of counting my years. Let everyone debate the true reality. I'd rather see the world the way it used to be. A little bit.
Right, well that's all the major fish now that I've gone through this morning into mid-afternoon. What I've got to do now is the dream koi section, a few of the smaller fish section, including yours, Lee Manning. Good luck with that. It's a beautiful kahaku. I think it's about 53, 54 cm. And then tomorrow, once the prizes have all been sort of written on the vats overnight, I can then capture the major winners again, which will probably duplicate them because I've already got them. But we'll have found out who's won what tomorrow. Well, Friday afternoon, 3:30, back in the room. That was the most enjoyable morning and lunchtime at the show. But do you know what? I felt like I needed, as did Scott, come back and have a bit of a rest. So I've come back, having a cup of tea. Tony's finishing off the judging shortly, coming back too. And the idea is to rest this afternoon. Long day tomorrow at the show. Out tonight. So, yeah, got me gold radio on, streamed through my phone, cup of tea, just chilling, as I say, back in the room. Saturday morning. And I'll tell you what, I don't recommend going out the night before when you've got a camera work to do, because I don't feel in the mood. Oh, I need to go home, get back on a diet and get back to some normality. I'd be big as an house if I was out here for 3 months. Saturday morning, a boat to the show. Yeah, for anyone clever out there who's thinking, well, if that's your boat, why are you staying in a hotel room? We couldn't find the boat last night, drunk too much.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah, no, breathe in, both of you. So, boys, Saturday at the show, main day of the show, really.
Is it?
Is it main day?
Lost track.
Well, it's Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, today's
Yeah,
Saturday.
Saturday.
It's where lots of people come, visit the show. See, all the fish have been moved up into their categories, the best in varieties, the Grand Champion, Reserve Grand Champion, Botan prizes, best in size, Kakugios. So a lot of people are going in and hopeful to see how their koi have developed. Should be a fun day today. Get to meet lots of people of the industry, trade and hobbyists, and let's have some fun, eh?
Yeah, and Tony, if you can take us through a couple of the fish, maybe a couple that you judged, a couple of the bigger fish as to why they were judged to win the category they did.
Be a pleasure.
And Scott, exciting day for us then, yeah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we saw it to good effect yesterday. It was very quiet. You'll see it's a lot busier here today. But yeah, it'd be nice to be bumping into a few boys and girls.
Yeah, this show is second to none.
Right, cool. All right, let's get in. Here at Ryotsu Centre again, Saturday morning. Best footage is when they don't know I've got the camera. Good to see you, Bern.
See you, mate.
Yeah, good to see you again, huh? Yeah. Yeah, nice to see you out here, Bernie.
Don't say that the Kohaku is your number one.
Lee, when you're watching this is your fish. Momotaro Kohaku. And also, there's a fish here, just bumped into Si. This is James's fish. So James, here's yours. Yeah, that looks lovely. That's an auction fish, was it? Was it an auction fish?
Yeah, I bought it at an auction event.
Right, yeah. Yeah, that is super.
It's a mirror.
Great scenery on that side, isn't it?
Yeah, nice placement as well.
Yeah.
Too close.
Yeah, no, you're a handsome fella.
Okay.
You're a handsome guy. We're recording now, John.
Okay.
Right, so, John, I met you for the first time at Sakai earlier in the week.
Yes.
Yeah? You're from America.
I'm from America, in New Jersey, New York area.
Yeah,
but
so tell us about yourself and the hobby and stuff.
I started the hobby by accident, like everybody else. I bought a house and I had a gardener. Says, "Oh, you want a water feature or anything like that?" I said, "Yeah, I like water, I like the sound." No, we weren't talking about fish. We're talking about a water feature. Then he says, "You can throw some goldfish in there." That was back in 2006. And 2007, I was already hooked because I bought a small little koi by accident. Again, I didn't know what a koi was. I went to it was a domestic and a kujaku at the time, which I didn't know was a kujaku, from Japan, Japanese kujaku. That kujaku grew so well and it was so powerful and all so I got hooked. I'm like, oh, look at that, it's nice. So 2007, I hit all the boards, koi fin, it was popular there, koi bito, all that stuff. So I'm actually asking 100,000 questions. By 2008, I designed my pond already. I went from a little, it was 3,000 gallons there, the water feature. It was pretty sizable, but it was 18 inches to 36 inches deep. I went from that to a tall concrete. What I knew at the time, the best filtration ever, 20,000 gallons, US gallons, so it's about 76 tons. 2008, I'm sorry. 2009, I built another 13,500 gallon pond. I built my first quarantine tank in 2007 in the basement. I have 5 quarantines now in the basement. And first visit in Japan was 2010. And a good friend of mine had come in Japan a year prior. He says to me, "You have to go to Japan. You'll never look at koi the same way after that." And I'm like, "Come on, And he was right. The moment I was, my first trip was, very first breeder was Sakai of Hiroshima, because we came to Hiroshima. It was Sakai of Hiroshima first day. I was like humongous sizes, lots of water. They took us out for dinner, the manager. Then we went to Masako, Konishi. I bought my first karashigoi there at that time. So I got hooked up.
So have you been through the sort of challenges of koi where you've, you had problems with filtration and the fish haven't done well and some might have died and, have you had those sort of challenges, experiences?
Like even now, even at this level, there's always something that can go wrong because they're live animals, right? So you don't know what is inside them. You can do the right thing and they develop cancer, they get a bug like us and that is no good. So even today I will lose fish, but the condition of the fish is incredible. And sometimes when I lose fish, it's usually internal stuff that I don't know what they are. I don't lose any fish from infection or bacteria anymore. But yes, of course I went and, not knowing about fish, I crowded them up. I thought I had enough filtration. I thought I had a good biological. But that was when I started in 2007. I was buying fish over the internet, and then my important thing wasn't the fish. I loved them all. I thought they were all beautiful. So it wasn't. I didn't know about quality, pattern, all that stuff. Whatever would look to me beautiful, I was getting it right. My challenge, I started in this hobby, believe it or not, falling in love with my first challenge. It wasn't the fish. My first challenge was filtration system.
Yeah, good point. Very good point.
I was challenging because then I saw the problems. When I was buying the fish, I saw the problems. So now I was talking about filtration, mechanical filtration, biological filtration, which can be anything. Types. I designed my own filters. I had a guy that was very handy down in Florida, and I would dream stuff, and then I would call him up, and he would design. I designed airlift systems, moving beds, all-in-one filters, just for me, and I have them still home, all over. If you come to my house, there's barrels, there's all different types of media. There's my wife's saying this is not a house anymore. This is like a koi farm,
Yeah, I think a lot of people watching this can relate to that.
Yeah.
And when did you get into showing koi then, here in Japan?
Here in Japan is the past, I believe, 3 years only. I started showing back home. I had very good. I'm still having a very good success because I'm now able to grow koi very well. If I buy Plato Sai, I have good relations with many breeders.
But you're leaving the fish obviously here. The fish we're going to see in a moment. You're leaving here.
Yes,
with
of course.
reason.
Those. Yeah.
Exactly.
Back home, I like to grow. Most of my grand champions I came from koi that I bought Nisai here and brought them home, and I grew myself.
Can we have a look at your fish that you've got here?
Yeah, I have one tank, 600. I have a couple of fish here.
Yeah.
So we can go look at them.
Yeah, let's have a look at them, and then we'll come back to having a chat about your hobby.
Okay.
Yeah, cheers, John.
Thank you. What's name on it?
Because Tani made a mistake, but they changed the registration now. He changed it.
You're going to swap it around?
Yeah, because
This has happened to me one year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have two fish that have different names. One here, that's first place.
We had to go to the head office. We had to wait till we went and we had to wait.
You know why? Because I said that's his first place.
Absolutely.
It's at 40 pool, So
Yeah.
Or more is very, very, very difficult. We still have 55 bull here. Because I'm looking for a 60 bull. Look at the second place.
So this is you, John?
Yep.
So tell us about this fish then, John.
This is believe it or not, this is Sunsai. We bought it from Tamauda a year and a half ago. Last year actually. Sorry. As a Nisai small, 41 cm Nisai. Just to go for Wakawagoi, the Yankoi show.
Yes, yeah.
All Japan Yankoi show. Won second place in last year. Because on the 43 bull, he was 41 and a half or 41. Won second place. And the fish grew pretty good. Look at the tail tube on the fish.
Yeah, it's a lovely fish. Yeah.
So conditioning, volume is not that much. The shiroji is very good. Packing is very, very good.
Yeah.
It was bought specifically for show. It was never bought to win the bigger sizes. But she grew very well. She went in 43 for the summer, and she came out 57. 56 or 57, something like that.
Yeah.
So she competed on the 60, which like 4 cm on the it's a big difference between So you're trying to compete as close in all Japan. We're talking about.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be ready for the Wakagoi for 58 bull, which will be very close. Yeah, March.
Yeah.
So it will be very close to her size.
Yeah.
This will be like at the very edge. So I think she's going to be a little bit more competitive. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, very nice.
You know, so
Yeah.
that's Tahora again, 65 bull.
Yeah.
See the difference between 65 and 60. She's small for 60.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but probably very good.
Yeah. So John, what's your aspirations in the hobby then, moving forward?
This hobby has multiple levels of enjoyment, right? So I like to challenge myself all the time. That doesn't mean I have to be for everybody. But to me, being in Japan and winning in Japan, it means something. Is it in real life? Does it mean anything? No, it doesn't. But for me, it's more amongst my peers and amongst the passion that I have. To my own self means that I kind of arrived somewhere. You know, that I was able to master a craft, which is understanding koi. And believe me, I'm a hands-off guy. I pick my own koi. I don't have koi come to me and all that stuff. And I usually grow the koi myself. But that's one of my aspirations here. I'm not looking for, of course, a grand champion, but a kokuyo would be nice. You know?
Well, and do you know what?
I know you had it, yeah.
But when I met you earlier in the week, I got lucky about Kikuyo. I tell it as it is.
We need
Tony
luck.
Sam,
We need luck. Don't take-
Tony Sam found the fish.
Yeah.
He phoned me. I bought it. I won. Yeah, Tony found the fish. So you know, but it was nice to
Yeah,
win.
yeah,
Don't get me
yeah.
wrong. And I've still got the fish. But yeah, I could tell when I met you earlier in the week at Sekai just how, you know, how much you enjoy the hobby. It really
I
comes
love it.
across.
And you know something, I know it's funny, but you're going to tell you, every time I go to, not here of course, so here's a lot of fish. If you miss the fish, forget about it. But when I do back home, when I go to the shows, I spend very little time looking at the fish. I go to the fish, I spend time on the fish that I like, and I study them on the show. But usually I go browse, you know, I zip through. If I find something, I stop and study it. But after that, I spend time with koi people, because the funny part is that I meet all kinds of different personalities. One thing in common, we all very passionate. So you can be a doctor or you can be a garbage man, but it doesn't matter. What binds us together is the koi, and I do enjoy meeting and exchange information and exchange passion and talk about koi with koi people. And that's another thing in the hobby that excites me.
Yeah, nice way of putting it. Yeah, John, thanks for talking to the camera. Really
No problem.
appreciate that.
No problem.
Cheers, John.
Thank you.
Well, it's lunchtime now, Saturday. Caught up with a few guys. Now I'm going to be videoing the major prize winners. They having been moved last night from where I'd already filmed them in their usual vats into the main vats at the front of the hall. So yeah, let's have a look at the big prizes.
Well, good morning, Judge. How are you today? I'm in trouble. Please put me away. A great thing took a shine to me. I couldn't stop it, so let it be. 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 He didn't do it. He wasn't there. He didn't want it. He wouldn't dare. Well, good morning, Judge. Yes, I'm back again. I'm in trouble, so it's back to the pen. I found a car, but I couldn't pay. I fell in love and I drove it away. I fell in love and I drove it away. I fell in love and I drove it away. I fell in love and I drove it away. He didn't do it. He wasn't there. He didn't want it. He wouldn't dare. I didn't do it. I wasn't there. I didn't want it. I wouldn't dare.
my sentence, but committed no crime. And bad mistakes, I've made a few. I've had my shadows and kicks in my face, but I've come through. And I need to go on, 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 on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. I've taken my bows and my curtain calls. You brought me fame and fortune and everything that goes with it. I thank you all, but it's been no bed of roses, no pleasure cruise. I consider it a challenge before the whole human race, and I ain't gonna lose. And I need to go on, 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 on. We are the champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. We are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions of the world. The champions, my friends, and we'll keep on fighting till the end. Oh, we are the champions. We are the champions. No time for losers, 'cause we are the champions.
Right, Jeff, aka Bungle. Yeah, fellow Brit. From Cambridge way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, so tell us what you've been up to the last week.
Yeah, so it's my first trip, so really excited to come. We went up to, stayed in Nagaoka Central, stayed there as a central base every night. We went to near 45, 46 breeders over the week, so we spent 5 days up there. So about 8-9 breeders every day, ranging from some of the real big stuff at Hirasawa and Marido, up to some really small breeders like Tanaka, as well. So yeah, quite a lot of snow up there. You know, about 4 foot in places, but really good fun.
And what was your mission coming out for your first time? What was your objectives?
Probably more high-grade toss-eye to grow on, you know, project fish, and some 2-year-olds. But we actually ended up buying more 2-year-olds than 1-year-olds. So that was really interesting, really good.
And why was that?
A lot of places actually already sold out. So we went to several breeders who literally had no 1-year-old fish at all for sale. Very, very few. But the 2-year-old fish, again, I think reasonable price, some really good quality fish. There were probably 6 or 7 that just weren't around at all, the show being on today as well. But yeah, some great fish to look at, some really good value as well, given where the yen is, about 140 at the moment. But yeah, some really, really interesting places as well.
And was it as you was expecting up there, Jeff? In terms of getting around, it was easy. The quality of the fish that you saw, did it all meet your expectations?
Yeah. I mean, being in central Nagaoka was quite good. Again, we can use that as a base. We went, you know, to some of the places in the lowlands, and then we went right up to, in the mountains, up to Hosakai and some others, and Tanaka as well. So we went to various breeders, some in the low areas and some up in the higher ground. So I come out here with 2 or 3 other guys. We stayed as a small group of 4 of us, and Gary, who runs Echigo Koi, was our kind of our main conduit to get us around, and he was the driver. So yeah, cool. He knows the area really well, so it's good.
Yeah, good for you. And in future trips, do you have any plans to go down south?
Possibly, yeah, possibly down south. I think it's a different kind of breeder in the south. I think the scale and the space between them. I'd like to definitely go up to the north again, up to you know, Mushigame and the villages around there with all the mud ponds in the autumn. Because at the moment, obviously, it's much, you know, it's 3-4 foot of snow everywhere. It's still very scenic, but we haven't seen any mud ponds or anything like that. But it'd be nice to come back in the north and see the harvests.
Yeah, cool. And what about the show then? So your first impressions of the show?
Just
having seen some lovely fish, no doubt.
The quality is amazing.
Yeah, when you come to this show, it's a whole level, isn't it?
It's a whole different level, and I think you're also looking at fish. You know, we went up to Dainichi and we saw some of the fish in their big ponds in their main house, and the fish look big, but you see them in the vats here, and these things are just battleships. They are just massive. Yeah. And the quality, as you say, is just in a different level.
Yeah. Oh well, I'm glad you had a good trip, and you could fly back tomorrow as I do. Is that right?
Yeah. You fly back tomorrow, so I've been out of it just over a week. As well. So yeah, looking forward to coming back. Just got to save up some more money and get back again.
Yeah, we all have to do that. Yeah, cheers, Jeff.
Cheers, Kev.
Get out of the way, Tone. Get out of the way. What is it with you? Get out of the way. That's better. No, get out of the way. That's much better. I'll tell you what. They're probably just as hard to keep. Well, just had lunch here, and now I'm going to have a look at the Dream Koi section where the fish are for sale or at auction, and which will probably bring this All Japan to a conclusion for us this afternoon.
Tonight I'm gonna have myself a real good time. I feel alive. Shooting star leaping through the sky like a tiger, defying the laws of gravity. I'm a racing car passing by like Lady Godiva. I'm gonna go, there's no stopping me. I'm burning through the sky, yeah. 200 degrees, that's why they call me Mr. Fahrenheit. I'm traveling at the speed of light. I wanna make a supersonic man out of you. stop me. Hey, hey, hey. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Have a good time, good time. Don't stop me. Don't stop me. Supersonic man out of you. Stop me now. I'm having such a good time. I'm having a ball. Don't stop me now. If you wanna have a good time, just give me a call. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. Don't stop me now. I'm having a good time. I don't wanna stop at all.
I'm either gonna fill it in.
You're going to go home and see how small your fish are and how crap they look.
Correct.
Yeah? But that's all part of the fun of coming here,
Throw
isn't
them all
it?
away.
Yeah?
No, I'm glad I've come here. It's definitely an eye open to the quality, but no, that's good.
Yeah, good. So are you going to any breeders in the next couple of days?
I don't know. I only decided to come here about 24 hours
Right,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, we are. We're going to go and do about 5 breeders, not many.
Yeah.
Bit of proper flying trip, really, 6 days. So
Yeah, cool.
2 days at the show and 4 day at breeders.
Yeah, nice shout.
Not so much a buying trip, more just all Japan.
Oh, we all say that, right?
Love you, babe.
I'll let it out. No, seriously, what have you bought? You bought a couple, haven't you?
No,
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you
no.
have. Yeah, don't tell lies to your wife. I'll never do that.
No, I ain't bought nothing.
No, what have you bought? Seriously.
Nothing.
Tony being interviewed by Chinese TV.
Boy, very beautiful this year. The news at 6.
There you go.
Yeah.
And now sports.
Look like the Three Stooges. Yeah, Scott's too young to remember them. Right, we're at that stage in the holiday now. Saturday night, just had dinner, where we thought we'd have a synopsis of the week. Yeah, and what a cracking time we had. And I guess what we learnt as well. So, Scott, over to you first. How would you sum up the week in terms of the fun we had, what you learned, your expectations and so forth?
I guess expectations, you never really had any. You do the trip, you learn what you can. It's been an absolutely blinding weekend, well, whole week. So much fun, good company, great fish. Yeah, brilliant.
And as far as your Sankey is concerned,
yeah,
was it everything you was hoping it would be?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the people that's involved with it seem to have a good feeling with it. Time will tell, obviously, with that. So that's going to be staying out here long term. So maybe this year, following year, so on. So yeah, that would be something quite exciting. Yeah.
And is the fish staying in a concrete pond or going out to a mud pond?
I believe that's going out to the mud pond first year. Luckily, it's got a guarantee for the first year. So the breeder and obviously Tony was discussing the best option for it. Everyone believed that the mud pond would be the best thing for the fish.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to following that because that's one serious fish, and it was a real pleasure to see that. And cracking fish, and one to keep an eye on, Tony.
Definitely, mate.
So, what about you?
Well, I've
judged
again for the 5th time, which is always an honour. Nice to finally spend a bit of time with Scott and get to know him. I've got to say absolute credit to the way he's been brought up and his manners and whole ethos and hard workmanship on koi, and his knowledge. I've got to say is for a young man knows a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
I've learnt nothing new. Nothing new. Same old Kev, great. So much fun to be with. I mean, we've cracked our ribs, we've laughed so much. We've got smile lines all over our faces.
Yeah.
And I'm sad to let you boys go.
Yeah, no, that's a fair summary, and I would say the same actually. Without this sounding too sentimental, when I first met Scott for the last few years, like for 5 or 10 minutes at each show, I used to think he was a bit weird, right? He don't say much and one thing or another. He's one cracking lad, real credit to his mum and dad. So yeah, Scott, top lad. And you know your way around. So yeah, done a lot in a young age. So yeah, good for you. So yeah, from my point of view, yeah, cracking week. It was here 2 years ago that I was here last. I thought I'd come every 2 years and, you know, taking a carp show at Zwalla in between. But, you know, having had such a great week here, I'm pretty sure that, yeah, wife permitting, given that I don't get many holidays a year, I can have one of them in Japan. But yeah, cracking. And I would say one of the highlights, boys, was that opportunity to see those All Japan fish in that vat at Sakai.
Prior to the show,
that was a total out of the blue moment, and that was fantastic, wasn't it? Yeah, as well as seeing some great fish and everything else, yeah, to see them fish was something special. So yeah, as I say, cracking week. I hope I've captured it well enough on the video. Sometimes the best moments, Scott, aren't captured on video, but that's part of the fun, really, isn't it? Really? So, you know, as I say, all said and done. It's, on that note, yeah, I'll edit this. We'll be home tomorrow, Scott and I. Tony sets off tomorrow night. Yeah, and if anyone's got any questions and, you know, really wants us to go into any detail, phone Scott. Yeah.
Thanks, thank you very much.
Yeah. 07957.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Cheers, Oak.
Well, we're at Haneda Airport now, Sunday morning for the 11:30 flight, and just some advice for fellow koi keepers coming out. There's only one way to travel. Trust me. But when you've bought koi, this is how you have to travel. been back a couple of days now, and sat in my kitchen going through some editing of the video, and it all comes flooding back to you. What I always say, what a great time we all had. Fantastic trip as usual. And I've made some notes here to make sure I don't forget anybody, because when I do these synopsis, quite often I'll forget someone and I feel like I've insulted them by forgetting them, and I certainly don't mean to do that. But yeah, a lot of thank yous. But to rewind, the actual reflection on the trip, what you learn loads. You don't always know what you've learned. When you've got home, you think, you know, what did I learn there? What did I learn there? But you know what? It all builds, you know, that bigger picture to, you know, enjoying our koi hobby. And we saw some fantastic fish that ordinarily you can't afford. You see fish that, you know, like I alluded to, I think, on the video, you know, purchasing the kahaku with the secondary Benny issue at the back. You know, I've made a point to another hobbyist yesterday that when you're seeing these amazing fish at Sakai and other places, it's very difficult to afford them. So you're making compromises. That's the best word to describe buying koi. That every koi I've bought, and I've said it on videos before, is a compromise, because when you bring everything together, pattern first for me, followed by the skin, the body and everything else, they cost a fortune. So somewhere down the line, you know, you're compromising, and invariably it's pattern. And when you bring it all together, somewhere you compromise, and if it fits your budget, great. That kahaku did just that, because someone asked me, why did I buy it with, you know, that secondary Benny issue near the tail? Well, I bought it because I thought it was affordable. I don't show my fish. I'd hardly see it in my pond anyway. And, you know, for me, it was good value for money. There's a lot of people that would have discounted that. And again, when we're bowling the barn fish, you know, they bought a lot of fish. We didn't feature them all on the video, but, you know, there was a lot of fish there. And some of them, you know, they're not perfect. But you know what? If you try and buy all perfect fish, there's not many hobbyists in the UK that will afford them. So I can see where Keith and Tony are trying to, you know, obtain, you know, good fish within a certain budget parameter that, you know, meets the bulk of what people might want to spend. So I think it's a fine line. But anyway, I'll probably cover that on other nerding videos further down the line. I've already started my next nerding video, and we'll come on to that. That'll be part 1 of my koi keeping year 2017. But for now, to conclude, you know, big thanks to Tony and Scott. Great company, you boys. And Scott, as a young lad, yeah, you've got it all going on. Good for you. Yeah, sharp as a pin and funny. So, yeah, great company, and look forward to catching up with you again. Tony, well organised, minute by minute. I love that, as you know. So getting around internally was great. All the breeders, you know, that we went to, we didn't go to many, but, you know, Sakai, Beppu, Hirasawa always make us, I should say, most welcome, given Tony's relationship, and going out with them and having fun was great. Also the hobbyists that I managed to interview, John and Jeff, and meet up with others, you know, thanks for being on the camera. It was great. So in conclusion, fabulous trip. Hope I've captured it well on the video. Couple of contentious issues, I think, maybe on the video with the cosmetic going on and this, that and the other. But you know what? That's the reality of the hobby, and I try and capture it, and you can't please all the people all the time. And on that note, and to conclude for the third time, I think, yeah, I've got a nice song to play out with my thank yous, with the credits. And yeah, I'd like to dedicate the song to the handful, maybe 4, 5, 6 people that are small-minded individuals that find no other reason than to have a knock at me and my videos. So to you envious guys that have got nothing else better to do, hope you enjoyed this video, even though you claim you don't watch them. And this song's dedicated to you guys.
All the time.
do you know what? It's only fair I treat the wife. So, see Victoria's Secret at the airport, gone in there, but having been talking body shapes all week, I've realised probably a bit short, bit dumpy, not quite the shape we need. There you go. Sorry, lovey.